And hello everyone, this is PK Yugioh. Welcome back to the channel. So today I have another deck profile for you guys. This is Materiactor. Yes, so Materiactor was an archetype that released with exactly 2 members back in Blazing Vortex, but over the years they have gotten support and they've gone from I think an archetype maybe 2 to maybe about 10. And the deck is now playable, especially with the support that came out in the OCG in Alliance Insight. So I took a variation of this deck to locals in Shibuya a few days ago, and I went to 2-2. I lost to Ryzeal and Maliss, the 2 best decks in the format, but I also beat Ryzeal, beat Orcust, and I took a game off of Maliss. So the deck is a lot of fun, and I want to take a little bit of time and show you like what it kind of looks like post the new support. Now, 2 things. Number 1, this is not an optimal list. This is to prove a concept. Hopefully you can use it to inform your deck building choices. Second of all, this list has been updated. After the results of the tournament, I went and I changed quite a few things about this deck, and this is something that I would consider bringing to a tournament now. I'll go over, at the end of the video, the cards that I used to have in, cards that I cut, and cards that you could consider playing. So, without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So, starting off with the monster lineup, we have 3 copies of Prima Materiactor. So this is a level 3 light dragon pendulum. While it is in your pendulum zone, all your Xyz monsters gain attack equal to the total number of Xyz materials on the field times 100. That's cumulative. So if I have a 2-mat Xyz monster and a 3-mat Xyz monster, both of them get 500 attack. And then once per turn, hard once per turn, you can target one of your Materiactor Xyz monsters, attach this card as material, and if you do draw 1 card, this thing is amazing. I know some lists play 2. I disagree. This card is so good you want to play it at 3. Some of the cards that you'll see later in the deck, it's actually kind of important that you have it at 3 copies. You want this card in your hand, you want it on your field, you want it in the graveyard, you want it everywhere. So we're trying to max out and see it as much as possible. We're also playing 3 copies of Materiactor Exerept. This is a level 3 water dragon. You can only use the first effect once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand and discard a card. Add a level 3 normal monster, except the discarded card, from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then you can summon this card in face of defense. During either player's turn, you can discard this card, target a rank 3 Xyz monster you control. It gains 1500 attack. That doesn't come up at all. Extra is a crazy 1.5 card starter. It gets you the Prima, gets it into rotation, can put it into your hand, and gives you your full combo if this is able to go off. We're also playing 3 copies of Materiactor Zeptwing. This is a level 3 fire dragon. You can only use each effect once per turn. If you control a Materiactor card, you can summon it from your hand for free. If this card is normal or special summon or flip face up, yeah, get wrecked up, Terror players, you can add 1 Materiactor card except for Zeptwing from your deck to your hand. Then you can summon a level 3 normal monster from your graveyard. Zeptwing is a really, really good extender. It's also, in some ways, a bit of a combo starter if you're able to get it off. It searches your entire deck and gets you Extract, gets you Prima. The effect to summon itself does not require you to have a Materiactor monster. You just have to have a Materiactor card. So, for instance, like you can scale the Prima and then trade this effect, summon it out to avoid committing your normal. The card's amazing. We're playing 1 copy of Yugioh. So Yugioh is the weakest of the new Materiactors. Well, it's not even a new Materiactor. It's one of the original. You can discard a card once per turn to summon a level 3 normal monster from your hand or deck. But if you discard a normal monster for this effect, you can summon a Materiactor instead. And then while it's face on the field, you cannot summon from the extra deck except for Xyz monsters. Yugioh is in here because it is an additional name. Sometimes you have to start your play with a Zeptwing, which is not ideal. Well, it means good, right? It gets you to the full combo, but sometimes if you want to keep comboing off, you need another monster, and Yugioh is that extra Materiactor name that you need. It's only playing 1. I used to play 2. I played 2 at the tournament, but no, that was a mistake. You don't want to see this card in your hand very often. This is like a last resort normal summon. We're also playing a small Goblin Biker package. We're playing 2 Doug Charger, 1 Mean Merciless, 1 Clatter's Floater, and 1 Boonmock. The Goblin Bikers put in a lot of work. If you don't know what these do, Doug Charger grabs Goblin Spell or Traps. Mean Merciless can summon a Goblin from hand. Clatter's Floater can summon a Goblin from grave. And Boonmock, if it's in your hand or grave, can detach material, summon itself. But then you can't summon it for 2 turns. The thing to note about all of these cards is that they all have effects that revolve around like detaching materials from Xyz monsters. However, it does not have to be yours. So against Ryzeal, Goblin Bikers actually have a pretty decent Ryzeal matchup because Doug Charger can summon stuff from hand by detaching a material from an Xyz monster on the board. So, right? So they got a detonator. You go, all right, Doug Charger, attach that material, summon it out. Mean Merciless as well if it's in your graveyard, right? You go Mean Merciless if it gets destroyed or something, right? You go Mean Merciless back, detach material from that detonator, bring it back. These cards put in a lot against the Ryzeal matchup. Cannot imagine playing this deck without them. Like they're just too important. We're also playing 2 copies of Terratop. Terratop is currently semi-limited. I can't play 3. I would if I could, and 1 Takaton board. That does it for the main like engine pieces. As for the non-engine, we're playing the best card in the OCG, the second best card in the OCG. 2 Effect Veiler, 2 Phantasme, and a Nibiru. I am allergic to 3Fs. Phantasme is in here because Orcus and Maliss are 2 very good decks in the OCG right now. Also, it's not bad against Blue Eyes. Primate Blue Eyes will still have to summon their Link 1. That's 2 draws still. If you want to like put back a Giga Draw you don't need, that's always useful. Nibiru's good. I want to play an additional. Now Effect Veiler is kind of the interesting choice here because we're not playing Imperm. And the reason why we're not playing Imperm is because the whole Materiactor gimmick, which I didn't really explain, is they want to attach cards from your deck to themselves as material, and then you can take those materials from them and add them to your hand. Now the problem with Imperm is that if you choose to play Imperm, it's a good card. I can certainly see why you would. The problem is that if you attach an Imperm off of some of your other Materiactor cards, and then you can get them back to your hand on your opponent's turn, you can't play the Imperm, right? But if you attach an Effect Veiler instead, and then during your opponent's turn, you can add that Veiler back to your hand, and then it's live. So I would consider playing Effect Veiler over Imperm. The only reason why I would consider Imperm is because you can use it to protect yourself with Cross-Up Detonator. The games that I lost against Ryzeal, I lost because my Giga Drug got Impermed, and that really, really hurt. So that's for the main monster line. Going on into the spells. Alright, so then going on into the spells, we're playing 3 copies of Materiactor Melt-Through. This is the new field spell from Alliance Insight. When this card is activated, you can excavate the top 6 cards of your deck and then put them on top of your deck in any order. Once per turn, you can pay 1,500 life points, Exceed summon 1 Materiactor Exceeds monster using a level 3 normal monster you control as material, and then you're locked into Exceeds monster for the rest of the turn. And each time an Exceeds monster is Exceeds summoned, you can attach the top card of your deck to a Materiactor Exceeds monster you control as material. This is not once per turn. Not that I think it matters very much. Melt Through is good. The problem is that Melt Through is only good in conjunction with other cards. Like, I want to say this because it is a Materiactor card and you want to try to play as many of as you can. It lets you, in conjunction with some of the other cards, it lets you add materials onto your monsters very fast. Right? This plus Prima is meant to work with Prima. Right? Normal the Prima, activate this, Exceed summon, and then attach material onto your Materiactor Exceeds monster, which is always really nice. Which is why we are playing 3 copies. We're playing 2 copies of Materiactor Meltdown. This is a card from Supreme Darkness. So the first effect is, during your main phase, you can excavate the top 6 cards of your deck. You can add an excavated Materiactor card among them to your hand, place the rest on top of your deck in any order. Then, you can add 1 material that is attached to a rank 3 Exceeds monster you control to your hand. That is a hard once per turn. The second effect, which is not a hard once per turn, when you activate, or if you activate, an Exceeds monster effect, you can attach the top card of your deck to a Materiactor Exceeds monster you control as material. This thing is incredible. This thing is ridiculous. When you are summoning Deathwing, you are grabbing this. This is one of the reasons why you might consider playing Imperm, because if you have this, you can, and there's an Imperm under one of your Materiactors, you can get the Imperm into your hand. I'm not a big fan of that, or it's not a bad thing. However, as I mentioned earlier, if you draw, or if you have to add during your opponent's turn, you can't use the Imperm. Meltdown is amazing. There's an argument to bump this card up to 3 copies. You don't really need your back row that much, right? And if you have 2 of them up on the board, their effects will both trigger, so you attach 2 materials instead. 2 just felt perfect, though. 2 felt like the right number. We're playing 2 Grand Entrance and 1 Grand Breakout. This is for Doug Charger. Grand Entrance put in a lot of work in the tournament because, like the Goblin Bikers, it supports, you don't have to detach materials from your monsters. You can attach them from your opponents. So, like, you can activate this, grab, say, Doug Charger, and then go, all right, I'm going to attach material from your Duo Drive, summon this thing. Summon Doug Charger. The effect engraves to banish, detach material, and you can add a Goblin from grave to hand also can come up, right? This card is really useful because sometimes the materials that you have on your Xyz monster are a little bit wonky, and this lets you control what's attached to your monsters and what's in the graveyard, and that can matter a lot. At the end of the video, after I go over the text, I like to show you a small combo demonstration, and having brand entrance can really help. We're playing 2 copies of Painful Decision. Painful Decision lets you bin a normal monster and then add a normal monster with the same name from your deck to your hand. This puts Prima into the graveyard, and that's what's important. Zeppwing is a really good card, as it gets you your entire deck. The problem is that it's just a body, and the part that makes it really good is the fact that after you search, you get a normal monster out of your graveyard. But if you don't have one in your graveyard, what do you do? So that's what Painful Decision is for. You play Painful Decision, you put the Prima in grave, you can summon your Zeppwing, get the Prima back, and then just do your full combo. That's why we're playing 2. I felt like 3, you could probably get away with 3. I think 3 is probably a good number. But we're looking at a 43 card deck already, and I'd rather not push it too much higher. And then rounding up the spells, we have 2 Called By, 1 Crossed Out. And then for the traps, only 2 traps. We're playing 1 Full Armored Xyz and 1 Materiactor Critical. This is a card from Supreme Darkness. It is the Materiactor Counter Trap. When a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated, you can add 1 Xyz material attached to a Materiactor Xyz monster you control to your hand, negate the activation, then apply the appropriate effect depending on the card you added. If you added a monster, place one card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. If you added a spell, all your Materiactors will gain 1,000 attack, or all the Xyz anyway, and if it was a trap, you can set it. You can't activate it that turn. Critical is in here just because, like, it's a counter trap. It's obviously good. Sometimes you can't, like, push past, like, your main combo, and you just need, like, a stopgap, right? So just going, all right, I'm just gonna search critical and set it. Sometimes that's enough. I never flipped this card at all. I do think it's good, but I was siding it out a lot. So that does it for the main deck. Let's go on into the extra deck. So for the extra deck is still a bit of a mess. I'm still kind of working out like what cards are good and what cards are not good. One card that I do need that's not in here is Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, but we'll get into that in a second. So going into the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Materiactor Exegard. This is a card from Supreme Darkness, and it is amazing. It is a rank 3 water dragon, requires 2 more level 3s, and you can only use each effect once per turn. You can attach material from this card, either summon a Materiactor from your deck, or add a Materiactor spell trap from your deck to your hand. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can add 2 materials attached to this card, including at least 1 Materiactor, to your hand. Then, if you have a normal monster in your graveyard, you can return 1 card on the field to the hand. Exegard is ridiculous. This is like the first monster you want to be summoning. It gets you to the whole combo line that you want. It's a bounce. This is why I was talking about adding things back on your opponent's turn. Your opponent summons a monster, you put 2 materials back in your hand. One of them is probably going to be a hand trap. You bounce the monster. Card's amazing. I initially played 2, and you can probably get away with 2. However, there were moments where I looked at the extra deck and like I wanted a 3rd Exegard. So that's why we're playing 3. We are playing the Armored Xyz package, so 1 Torpedo, 1 Fortress, and 1 Dark Knight Lancer. We're playing 1 Gabonga. I used to be playing 2, and I still kind of want to play 2, just in case, but you really only need the 1. It's recurable with Clatter Splitter, and Clatter Splitter itself is very recurable. Gabonga is a really nice piece of removal. One of the things that I really like about this deck, and the reason why I like Goblin Bikers with Materiactor, is that Materiactors and Goblin Bikers can flex between each other really well, right? I can use Zeppwing and Prima, make Gabonga, or I can use Dug Charger and like Mean Merciless, make Exegard. So at any point, I can kind of switch between the 2. I don't have to worry about drawing one or the other. So that's where I play in the 1 Gabonga. 1 Cicada King. This is a nice little monster negate. 1 Gigaboros. Gigaboros is not a good card, I don't think. If you don't know what this card does, it gains 500 attack and defense for every card in your hand. Yay. Once per turn, you can attach material from this card, take a Materiactor monster from your deck, and attach it to this card as material. Why it does that, I do not know. The other effect is during your opponent's main or battle phase, quick effect, you can add 1 material attached to this card to your hand. So one of the advantages that Exegard, or rather Gigaboros has over Exegard, is that you can freely add a material back to your hand. So for instance, like if I have Gigaboros, right, it has an effect veiler under it, I can just go, all right, during my opponent's main phase, they do something, all right, I'll go Gigaboros, add it back to hand. I don't have to wait for them to summon a monster. But I think you could feasibly cut this card. It wouldn't matter. One Asura King. It's this nice little monster negate. I don't know how I feel about this card. It requires 3 level 3s, which is not the easiest to do. It's possible, but not the easiest. One Utopic Future and one Utopic Draco Future. Sometimes you just... These are cards I added in after the tournament. I wasn't playing them at the time. I think that in certain combo lines, like if you open a really, really good hand, you have a hard time getting enough board space to make like a rank 3. And so something you just have to, you know, slap 2 of them together to make a Utopic Future and then slap that into UDF just for a negate. But I don't think these are the most mandatory cards. One Downerd, one Zeus. Zeus gets massive. As you'll see at the end of the video, Materiactors can amass a lot of materials. So if your Exegard survives combat, you just go main phase Zeus, slap a Zeus, you have like, what, 5-6 materials on it? Got quite a few board wipes. This card's amazing, of course. And one Hieratic Seal. All the Materiactors are dragons. So if, for some ungodly reason, you get debarriered, you can just go Stairs Pass, which is unbreakable. So that does it for the main and extra. Going on into the side, we are playing 2 Solemn Strike and 3 Judgment for going first. Play 2 Droplet. I think Droplet was a mistake. I never sided this card in. You don't really want to burn a lot of cards out of your hand. You don't have a lot of good discards. I guess putting Prime on the grave is not the worst, but like, I want the droplets to feel more important. So, try something like Evenly Match would have been better here. 2 Bestials, 1 Jerusalem, 1 Magnamut. These are both limited. I can't play more. These cards are crazy. These cards are really good. Against Orcus, right? Go Bestial, banish the Harport before they get the Babel. Really strong. Twins of the Eclipse is a light, as is, and Myriologic Aggregator is a dark. So if they go Detonator, and they're going to try to target the Aggregator, you can go Magnamut or Juicer, banish it out of the graveyard. They still get to attach, but they don't get the Aggregator. And also, since in the OCG, a lot of Ryzeal players will send twins with X Ryzeal. They send twins, right? They do all their stuff. You go Juicer, banish the twins, and then all of a sudden that Detonator is a little less threatening because if you kill it, it's harder to come back. So these cards are really nice. We're playing 2 Maliss. This is from Maliss. 1 Typhoon. Typhoon was for Orcus and Primate Blue Eyes. Destroys a phase or spell trap on the field. But if your opponent has at least 2 spells and traps and you don't have any, you can play it from your hand. So immediate pop the Babel. Pretty good. Get rid of Lordly Load. You can do that. Get rid of Moss Name of White. All nice stuff. I sided in, but it never came up. I never saw it. And then 3 Lancia because I hate Maliss. That is for the side deck. So before I go into the combo demonstration, I'd like to show you a little bit of other cards that I would consider, or cards that I was playing in the tournament. First, as far as cards I would consider, the 2 Psychic monsters, Psychic Tracker and Psychic Wielder, just because they're level 3 extenders. I was playing 1 Gone Wild at the tournament. Gone Wild has a really good grave effect, which I thought, you know, how can I pass that up, right? I just attached this with Gabonga at the end of the turn. It was not very good. I saw Gone Wild constantly, and like, it doesn't help. It's an awkward level. It's a bad type. I can't make spheres with it. So, I don't think this card is worth playing. And I was playing 2 Thuolos, but kind of for space. Thuolos should be either in the main or side. I'll have to reconfigure the side, put them in. And then for the Xyz, right, as I mentioned, you could play an extra Gabonga, you could play a Break Sword for spot removal, and you could also play Revirtue Dragon. So, Revirtue Dragon's main effect, which is why I considered it, is once per turn, you can target 2 monsters, and then attach 1 material from one of the monsters to the other. So, I thought, okay, in the event, right, I get some monsters, I don't get Materiactors underneath Exegard, but I get them under, say, a Gabonga, right? I make the Revirtue Dragon, detach material, move one of the materials maybe under the Revirtue Dragon or under another rank 3, put it under the Exegard, and then all of a sudden Exegard's affected 5. So I consider that, but like, with the way that the deck is set up now, you have so many ways of just getting Materiactors under your monsters to the point where, like, if you whiff, like, that's bizarre. So, but these are just other options that you can play. So that does it for the deck profile. Give me a second, let me set up, and I will show you a brief combo. So see you guys in a bit. Alright, so for this combo demonstration, I'm going to show maybe 1-2 test hands, and we'll see what we're capable of doing. I'll just tell you what the board we're hoping to get. If we're good, we should be able to get a Dark Knight Lancer, an Exiguard, a Cicada King, and a Gabonga with a few hand traps in hand. You can get that off of maybe 1 or 2 cards if you do it correctly. Actually, in fact, so long as you have a normal monster, so long as you have Prima Materiactor in rotation, you can get that board pretty easily. Like, in a single X-Rep will do it. Well, X-Rep plus a discard anyway. So we'll just try 2 test hands and see what we can get. Now, I will warn you, this deck can be prone to bricking sometimes, right? We do play a bunch of hand traps. But the idea behind the ratios that I played was like any combination of Materiactors that I draw can get me to something. And so for this, we will assume that our opponent is bad and did not open any hand traps, which of course is never the case. I was getting hand trapped constantly. But in some ways, it's actually kind of impressive that the deck was able to play through them so well. Well, there's our combo. Okay. All right. So we actually have the full combo. So we're gonna activate the effective Exer after discard the Boonlock. So we bring it out, and we'll also add our Prima Materiactor. Right? We're gonna normal the Prima Materiactor here, and we're gonna overlay to make Exiguard. All right. We go Exiguard effect, detaching the Prima. We have to detach Prima here. Well, we don't actually have to because we have Boonlock, but we might as well keep the Boonlock for a time when we actually need it. To get Zepwing, we always summon Zepwing off of Exiguard, and then Zepwing is going to trigger to add ourselves Meltdown. We want to grab Meltdown, not Melt Through, because Meltdown can actually add cards to hand. Melt Through cannot. And then we'll bring back the Prima Materiactor. Now, if you get nibbed, like, good luck, but it's fine. We'll activate the Meltdown, and we're going to overlay these two, and we'll make Gabonga. This is where we flex into the Goblin Bikers. You go Gabonga effect to add Dug Charger. Right? And then since we activate an Xyz Monster's effect, we will use Meltdown, and we will attach a material. That's not a bad one, actually. Then we will go effective Dug Charger, detaching the Prima to put it back in the graveyard. Summon out the Dug Charger. Go Dug Charger effect to grab ourselves Grand Entrance. All right, we'll activate Grand Entrance, adding Clattersploder. We want Clattersploder here because it is Disruption later. And having this engraved is important in the event, again, like our materials get all messed up, as we'll see in just a minute. So we'll attach the Zepwing off of the Gabonga to summon the Clattersploder. And then here, we're going to overlay these two for Armored Torpedo. Now, from this position, if you want, you can activate Meltdown here, just so that you can stack your draw, which we will do. We'll just do that for now. You don't have to, but it's a pretty solid option if you want to. Ooh, we got Melt Through, actually. So we'll add the Melt Through to hand, and we'll stack our deck like this, I think. Yeah, we'll stack our deck like this. And then we'll also add back the Painful Decision. We will activate Melt Through, not yet, actually. We're going to go effect of the Torpedo, detaching to draw our effect Veiler. And then we will use the effect of Meltdown to attach the Melt Through to Exiguard. And now here, just to thin our deck, we're going to go Painful Decision, sending the Prima, and then adding Prima to hand. This is for subsequent turns. We can also get an extra draw off this. Now, what I want to do, because we're going to be a little greedy here, we're going to activate Melt Through. right? This actually does kind of help a little bit because now we get to see what the top 6 cards of our deck are that have to be shuffled, right? Ooh, okay, we're gonna add that. Okay, we're gonna put that Nibiru on the top. Okay, we'll go Nibiru, we'll go Effect Failure here. Right, the top card is what matters because what we're gonna do is we're gonna rank up the Armor Torpedo for Fortress. Right, Meltdo's gonna activate here since we summon an Xyz monster and we'll attach the Nibiru to Exegard. So now if they summon a monster, we can just put the Nibiru into our hand. We go Fortress effect, attaching the Torpedo to grab full Armored Xyz. If at any point in the combo, full Armored Xyz got attached, we have Boonmock to detach it, and we also have Grand Entrance to detach material off of Armored Fortress. Okay, we'll add it. We activate Meltdown again to attach another material. The Melt through, that's not bad. We'll then rank up the Fortress to Dark Knight Lancer. We'll put the Dark Knight Lancer in the EMZ so he's free up a zone. And then Meltdo's gonna activate again. Ooh, Mean Merciless, that's not bad. That's a pretty good one. Okay, and then since we have, since we've already burned our normal summon. This is actually like probably the most that we can get right now. However, I'd say this is not bad. This is a very good board to end on, because now what's gonna happen is, if we want, right, we can go Prima, activate Prima, attach it to Exegard and draw one, or we can activate it now, and then since we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 materials, right, everything gets buffed by 700. Oh! So Dark Knight Lancer goes to 35, and then it gets an extra boost from its own effect. So it goes to 39. It's a 1300 attack Dark Knight Lancer. This is 39. Exegard is unfortunately at 27. Probably going to summon attack actually. So it's there. And Gabonga goes up to 28 actually. And if we were to draw a card, what would our top card be? In effect, that's not bad. During the end phase, we can go effective Gabonga to attach something from our deck. I think we have 1 Dug Charger left. We can do that. Alright, let's get out of the deck, and then we go Meltdown, attach. Also set the full armor and set the Cull by. Alright. Touch Gigadra. That's not bad. Okay, now, on our opponent's turn, what do we have? Well, we have a bounce, right? Our opponent summons a monster. We can go effective Exegard. We can put back the Gigadra and the Nibiru into our hand. Maybe I put the Gigadra. We can put like Melt Through or something, right? I'll just put the Melt Through and the Nibiru into our hand. The reason why we're adding the Melt Through here is because on the next turn we can just activate another Melt Through and then sack our deck again. So we'll add that to hand. If we want, there's a really bizarre ruling that states that, not bizarre, but there's a ruling that states that if you add a material attached to a monster to your hand, that counts as detaching, so Gabonga can activate. But even if you don't want a Gabonga, we still have Clattersploder. We can go Clattersploder, detaching like Mean Merciless or something, like or detaching like Dog Charger. Probably detach Mean Merciless. Should bring itself back. Right? Clattersploder will trigger. We will get Dug Charger. Dug Charger will get us Grand Breakout, just to thin our deck. We don't have any more goblins in our deck, but it's fine. We also have our Maxi, we have our Veiler, we have our Nib. And then we can also go full Armored Xyz, overlay these two, and we can make our choice of Cicada King. We can make Cicada King for a monster negate, or if we want to be really greedy and dig for hand traps, we can make a Gigaboros. Because if you go Gigaboros, right, one thing is if we hit like a hand trap, that's not a hand trap, but like if you did, right, attach it like this, we can then go Gigaboros effect and then put like one of the materials back into our hand, right? You put the Dug Charger back in hand, you can put the Crossout in hand, but it's probably the safer play to go for Cicada King, right? And then our full armor Xyz in the graveyard, we can then banish it, attach, equip Dark Knight Lancer with Torpedo, and we get a attach. And if we attach something with Dark Knight Lancer, we get another material off of Meltdown. That still goes on to X-Guard either way. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not to mention the material that we get off of the melt through, since we get summoning these monsters. Right, boom, there you go. Plus, we still have hand traps in hand. So that was just something that's something you just get off of a single Exarep, which is already a really solid board. We'll shuffle up to try one more test hand and see what we can do. Well, that's a really good card. This is actually not too bad. Okay. So, I think we're gonna try to highball this. I just want to see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna go. So we still have this whole X-Rep thing. Summon, add Prima, normal Prima. This time we're gonna activate double Meltdown. This is not optimal. I don't think this is like the right play to do, but I think it's funny. Right, so we make our Exiguard again. We'll make our Exiguard an attack. Effect, detaching the Prima to get our Zepwing. Now, I think we want to go Zepwing, so we want to go 1, 2, Zepwing 3. So that way we can get Melt Through here, since you don't have to grab for Meltdown. We can grab Melt Through, or we can grab Critical. I think we'll grab Critical here. Since we don't have to really worry about materials, like we're just gonna get a bunch of them. And we'll get back the Prima. And then you get 2 triggers, we attach the top 2. It's not the worst, actually. We can overlay these for Gabonga. And Gabonga will grab us Dug Charger. Now, if at any point, like, we lose an important combo piece to the Meltdowns, we can still get it back with Meltdown. Alright, and so we're going to attach the top 2 again. It's not bad, actually. We'll go Dug Charger effect. We'll attach the Prima off of the Gabonga. Summon it. Go his effect. And we'll grab ourselves. Again, we'll grab ourselves Grand Entrance. Activate Grand Entrance. Get Clatter's Floater. I suppose if we get something like Mean Merciless, we might be able to continue the combo a little bit further, but that's fine. And then we will detach I think we'll detach a second Prima. This plays around Abyssial. Summon it out. Although, actually, no. We have a Dug Charger as material. We can attach the Dug Charger, summon Clatter's Floater. Clatter's Floater effect gets Dug Charger back. Right, and then we go Clatter's Floater plus Dug Charger for Torpedo. I think here we'll activate the effect of Meltdown, right? Just to sack our draw. But if you want to be, if you want to highball it, go for it. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, we'll put the Nib on top, and then we'll put Phantasme. Also, yeah, we'll do something like this, I think. Yeah, because this painful decision is dead, and we're going to be searching anyway. So I think for now we'll keep we can add the Giga Draw, I guess, just like his Fallout for next turn. So we'll do that. Put that, and then we can add a material back to hand. We can get Ash Blossom, or we can also just get the Prima back. Here, if we don't think we can do anything with the Dug Charger, we can go Gabonga, attach it to just get off the field. But effect of Torpedo, a draw 1, and then attach the top 2. Fortress effect. Searching for full armored. Attach the top 2. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Here then. Oh, I cheated. I didn't use Grand Entrance. Sorry. Should be Grand Entrance in the graveyard. We can then overlay for Dark Knight Lancer. Now the Dug Charger we are leaving on the board, which it's fine. It's not ideal, but again, we could have Gabonga'd attach it at any point in this combo, just in case we want to clear off some space. Because one of the things that we can actually do now is if we leave the Gabonga here, or if we leave the Dug Charger, we set the full armored Exceeds, we set the critical, right? We can also do, and we just scale up the Prima, and now everything's getting huge. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So everything's getting 900 attack. So Exegard is 29, Gabonga is 3,000, and Dark Knight Lancer is 4,000. It gets the 300 from its own effect because it has material, plus the 900, so it gets 12. During our end phase, we can go Gabonga effect, attaching Boon Mock. That's Boon Mock from our deck. Get 2 more materials, so everything goes up. Everything gets an extra 300 now. And so then, what do we have? On our opponent's turn, they summon a monster. We can go Exegard, get back Zeptwing and Max C. You can also get back Phantasme if you really want to, but we're about to have a pretty full board. Then, bounce a monster. We can activate the Clatter Splitter Engrave, detaching a material, detach the Boon Moth. Summon this back. We can activate Full Armored Exceeds, also get a activation of Gabonga. This will grab us back Dug Charger. I don't think we have anything to add. I think we're out of Grand Entrances. We actually have one more. We can grab Grand Entrance, our last Grand Entrance, to get out of the deck, because we have one Goblin left. Right, and we can also go Full Armored Exceeds for, instead of Cicada King, we can instead make Asura King. Right, so now we have Asura King, Exegard. So you have a monster negate, Omni Monster, well, not an Omni Monster negate, it can negate any monster effect. We have a full hand. We still have the Suck from Dark Knight Lancer. And we still have a counter trap negate. If we negate, we can add back like Phantasme to bottom deck something, or we can add the cross out, give everything 1,000 attack, or give Exegard 1,000 attack. So then Exegard would go up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, plus another 1,000. So again, 21 goes to 4,100 attack. And we have all these cards in hand. We have Ash, we still have Nib, we have Maxine. So yeah, that's something that Materiactors can do with a new support. If you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Do whatever you do whenever you like a video on YouTube. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.